By the general definition of citizenship, we can understand that this is the membership of a particular community. So we can also understand the status of being a citizen, and it is a membership and allegiance to a sovereign state. Now, generally, historically, if we go, then we'll understand that in the European countries, the population of the states were mostly the common people, and the citizenship, it originated as a right of the urban population, like that of the male public of cities and republics, particularly ancient state cities, giving rise to social class of the bourgeois. And they were the class of the business owners, the merchants, and the wealthy people in general, generally in the late Middle Ages. So there it arose a class of peasantry as well as autocracy. They are traditionally contrasted with the proletariat by their wealth, political power, education, as well as access to and control of cultural, social, and financial capital. So those who have studied political science, they are very much aware of these particular terms, or if you are unaware of these definitions, you can go and search in the Google in order to understand better regarding this particular subject. So here I would like to refer that the citizenship is enumerated in Article 15 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that everyone has the right to nationality. As such, nationality in international law can be called and understood as citizenship, or more generally as subject or belonging to a sovereign state and not or as ethnicity. Historically, the most significant difference between a national and a citizen is that the citizen has the right to vote for elected electorals, officials, and rights to be elected. So, a person can be recognized as a citizen on a number of bases. First, nationality, then place of residence, then citizenship, and excluded categories are also there. That initially a few people were being not included as citizen in many countries. So now, in order to understand this particular topic, we'll also have to understand what migration means. So as we all know that birds migrate from one place to another, so likewise we can also understand the migration of human being. It's in the act and the process of the instant of migrating. Migrating in the international community, it is the international migration is a global issue with many complex dimensions that includes human cost, socio-economic cost and benefit, brain drain, remittance, as well as climate change and far-right populism. So these are various issues which actually lead a human to migrate from one place to another. But now, to address the migration challenges, the international community is working to develop comprehensive regional and global strategies, protect the labor rights of migrant workers, combat human trafficking networks, and promote well-regulated migration and mobility. Now, in order to understand this topic a bit deeper, we'll have to understand immigration. Now, we have heard about the immigration in the airports. Now, what is this term mean? Immigration is the process of coming to live permanently in a country that is not your own. The number of people who do this are people who are getting out of their place of birth and living in some other country. So now, regarding this Human Rights Convention and Human Rights Declaration, there are various responsibilities of a particular citizen. So every citizen has obligations that are required by law and some responsibilities that benefit the community. Obeying the law of a country and paying taxes are some of the obligations required of a citizen by law. Voting and community service form form part of responsibilities of a citizen that benefit the community. Now coming to our own country, the Constitution of India provides a single citizenship for the whole of India. Every person who was at the commencement of the Constitution, that is on 26th January 1950, domiciled in the territory of India, are who are born in India, either of whose parents are born in India and who has been ordinarily resident in India for not less than 5 years, became a citizen of India. Now, the Citizenship Act 1955 also deals with the matter of citizenship of India. So now it deals with the matters relating to acquisition, determination and termination of the Indian citizenship after the commencement of the Constitution. The Article 5, at the commencement of the Constitution, every person who has his domicile in the territory of India, who was born in the territory of India, either of whose parents were born in the territory of India and who has been ordinary resident in the territory of India for not less than 5 years immediately preceding such commencement, shall be a citizen. This is what is said by the Constitution of India. But in between, I have told regarding the Citizenship Act. I will further come to Citizenship Act, but now I would like to tell about the Article 11, which is very much important regarding the amendment that took place in the Citizenship Act 1955. Article 11 of the Constitution of India says that nothing in the foregoing provision of this part shall derogate from the power of Parliament to make any provision with respect to the acquisition and termination of citizenship and all other matters relating to citizenship. So Parliament attains the power of making new laws regarding citizenship under this particular article. So as per this, the amendment which has been incorporated, I will be telling about it a little bit later, but now back to the Citizenship Act 1955, which under section 3, 4, 5, 6, 6A and 7, it has been defined how an acquisition of citizenship can take place. Now, citizenship can be acquired by the birth, by descent, by registration, by way of naturalization, and a special provision, section 6A, has been incorporated where it says a special provision as to citizenship of person covered by Assam Accord. So regarding Assam Accord, I have made a video which is there in my channel, so you can go and watch that video. And section 7, citizenship by incorporation of territory. So here these are the particular sections which specifically states that who can be incorporated or who acquires citizenship on acquisition. So now here Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, this primary amendment by the Act was done by the proviso in section 2(1)(b) of the Citizenship Act 1955. The proviso states that the person falling under the following categories shall not be treated as illegal migrant for the purpose of this Act. Any person belonging to Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi or Christian community from Afghanistan, Bangladesh or Pakistan who entered into India on or before 31st December 2014 and who has been exempted by the central government by or under clause C or subsection 2 of section 3 of the Passport Entry into India Act 1920 or from the application of the provision of Foreigners Act 1946 or any rule or order made thereunder. So these are a few details which are for regarding academic discussion which I have made today. But now coming to a conclusion which I myself have found found that the modern idea of citizenship, it is a representative democracy. And now there have been few criticisms regarding the concept of a few writers who have been there in order to fight for these immigration as well as migrant laws. So in 1987, moral philosopher Joseph Carnes argued that citizenship in Western liberal democracies is the modern equivalent of feudal privilege, an inherited status that greatly enhances one's life's chance. He has very importantly has highlighted that citizenship in Western liberal democracies is the modern equivalent of feudal privilege. So it is thought to be an inherited status that greatly enhances one's life's chance. Like feudal birthright privileges, restrictive citizenship is hard to justify when one thinks about it closely. So now who is Joseph Carnes? He is born in 1945. He is a Canadian-American political scientist. He is a professor of the University of Toronto, and his research interests are mainly focused on contemporary political theory, especially on the issues relating to immigration and political community. Carnes is an advocate of open border and an ethical theorist in the field of immigration. Now, his important book, The Ethics of Immigration, Joseph Carnes synthesizes a lifetime of work to explore and illuminate on one of the most pressing issues of our times. So immigration is one of the most important issue of our times. So now immigration poses practical problems of Western democracies. This is what he has said, and also challenges the ways in which people in democracies think about citizenship and belonging, about rights and responsibilities, and about freedom and equality. So Carnes begins by focusing on current immigration controversies in North America and Europe about access to citizenship, the integration of immigration, temporary workers, irregular migrants, and the admission of family members and refugees. Working within the model framework provided by liberal democratic values, he argues that some of the practices of democratic states in these areas are morally defensible, while other needs to be reformed. In the last part of the book, he moves beyond the currently feasible to ask questions about immigration from a more fundamental perspective. He argues that democratic values of freedom, equality ultimately entails a commitment to open border. Now we come to a concept, very important and a very innovative concept, is the open border concept. Only in a world of open borders, he says this, that only in a world of open borders, he contends, will we live up to our most basic principles. So now many do not agree with his views, and there is a bit controversial view to this particular concept. So, but there are many people who are writing and who are thinking about these immigrants as well as migrants who are in a statelessness. So, there are many, more than 10 million people who are homeless. So, in order to decide the topic of citizenship, every government should keep in mind that the human rights have to be held higher than any political exercise. So with this, I would like to thank for you all for watching my video. So stay tuned for such legal topics. Thank you very much.